I believe in us.
I believe in us too.
Go Gadget podcast.
Hello and welcome to Be Gay, Solve Crimes, the podcast that asks the question, why is every detective kind of like that? Why are they kind of gay, though? I am Lucy, your local librarian. I am joined by my partner in crime,
Go Gadget Mia Mulder. Hello, I'm Mia Mulder.
And our third and final co-host, Go Gadget, November Kelly.
I'm November Kelly. All detectives are transgender.
Wonderful. As you hear, we've upgraded November to N2.
We have.
A new improved model.
We took her to the GIC, the Gadget Investigation Clinic. We have upgraded her. And how are you feeling, Gadget Nova?
I don't know that was necessary.
What a funny contribution to the conversation.
I have to say, the overcoat in this, pretty good.
I agree with whatever was just said.
Sniff, 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 woman detected.
Gadget Nova, I can't believe that you would say something so cancelable. This is outrageous.
So today, we're talking about Inspector Gadget.
We are.
The movie, and not the main one.
Yeah, this is a little turn of events based on the fact that, full confession here, I have never seen Inspector Gadget 1, the 1999 film starring Matthew Broderick. I have seen Inspector Gadget 2 because my mum bought it at a petrol station from a bargain bin on a car journey between Newcastle and my home in Scotland. We had this tiny little portable DVD player thing, and we watched it on the car journey home, and this film has tattooed itself across my brain. It has stained itself there such that the words top grade axle grease still just occasionally spit themselves out into my mind. And I thought I must have imagined it, but it turns out, no. Everything horrible that I remember about this film is still there.
It's still there. Top grade axle grease has now also imprinted itself on my brain. But the thing is, it is such a bargain bin type of movie.
Absolutely.
And you can watch it and you're just like, no one involved in this really cares. But at the same time, it kind of holds up. Yeah. There's a campy energy to it, which I'm actually really into. And I don't know why. It is also extremely transgender, much more transgender than normal Inspector Gadget, which I would say is somewhat transgender.
It's astonishingly transgender.
They're not to spoil the ending, but Gadget succeeds thanks to gender transitioning, partially.
Yeah, the power of gender transition.
The power of gender transition will enable helicopter gears to extend themselves from your head.
And other such appendages you can get out.
This is what conservatives don't want to tell you.
They don't want children getting the helicopter hats. And we here at Be Gay Solve Crimes, we fully approve of helicopter hats for all ages. The thing about this film is that it was made on a budget of 2.5 pence by 3 people with a Black & Decker drill and a dream.
Yeah.
And a diabolical amount of cocaine.
That is apparently how every special effect in this movie was done, was just with a mechanical drill rotating a thing. If a thing rotates, they put it in the movie.
You don't need anything more than that for this. That's all you need. It's but I think that's what it's mostly practical effects, and they hold up.
Surprisingly,
because I think they put, as they say, good old-fashioned ankle grease into this movie, and you can tell it's a labor of love, but not a labor of finance or budget or really skill, but it's really good, and I love it.
You have this sort of strange sort of peaks and troughs here of some really, really charmingly done mechanical effects, coupled with Spy Kids 3 levels of horrible, horrible CGI animation. Yeah. Just bizarre. Nothing has any weight to it. The colors are so saturated, your eyes start to bleed. This is a direct-to-DVD movie that was so cheap that the front cover of it is literally just the front cover from the first movie, flipped horizontally. You can see it in his badge. His badge has been crudely photoshopped so that it's the right way around.
Good Lord.
The trench coat and the hat is exactly the same. They have replaced Matthew Broderick's shit-eating grin with that of the actor French Stewart, who is in the lead role in this movie as Inspector
Who does a
Gadget.
great job, by the way. But all the money went into the special effects.
And there wasn't a lot of money to begin with.
Very much not.
You can always tell that a movie is good quality by the fact that it shows one production company sticker and then you are in, none of this fannying around. We've got funding from, this national lottery or whatever. No, we are got Disney and then we are getting a wriggle on. This is like an old studio movie, they kept it really, really in-house.
This is like very much peak Disney era from that time when they just kind of churned out a lot of stuff to like direct to VHS and direct to DVD, just to sort of like have something out there.
Just to convey about.
Because if you make it cheap enough and it has the Disney logo on it, it will eventually make a profit.
And we here at Be Gay Solve Crimes wholeheartedly support churning out content at the lowest budget as humanly possible. So all the most exciting films begin with twiddling our thumbs. Nothing is going on. Inspector Gadget is bored. There is no crime to be had. It's quiet, too quiet.
Literally waiting for like the plot to happen to him, which is, however, like you say, that's how every good narrative starts. Is nothing is happening. I wish a story would happen.
Exactly, to me. And this is where, having not seen the first Inspector Gadget, I have some questions. And my first question is, why is the car black?
Yeah.
Why is the car black? I recall from the cartoon that used to have reruns on TV that the Gadget Mobile is a white and blue Lotus Esprit futuristic police car. It's a police car. It's a police car with gadgets. It's a police car. And in this one, for some reason, it is a purple Lincoln Continental Pimp Mobile.
Yep.
And I think the choice to make the Gadget Mobile a Pimp Mobile and then hire a black voice actor to voice that Pimp Mobile is certainly a choice. It's not one that I would have thought would be advisable, but it's the choice that they apparently made. Hello, professional automotive journalist Victoria Scott. What's your professional automotive opinion?
In my professional automotive opinion, the only thing that you could potentially rank higher than a Lincoln Continental on the Pimp Mobile scale would be like a Cadillac Eldorado. But anything full-length Detroit 60s, 70s, you're ranking extremely high on the Pimp Mobile scale.
It is a choice. But it is also, I think, a choice. Again, like this is a movie from 2003. Having a diverse cast has not yet entered the public consciousness, I feel like. The idea of white actors and black actors being on the screen at the same time in 2003, and still today in some respects, is still like not normalized for some weird reason. I kind of know why the car is black.
Why is the car black?
Okay, so like the second movie, Inspector Gadget 2, has very, very little to do with Inspector Gadget 1. All the actors are replaced, and a lot of the stylistic choices are very different, right? Because the first Inspector Gadget movie got a lot of criticism for not being like the cartoon. Yeah. The main villain, like Claw, his full frontal face showing, which is not how he does in the cartoon.
Yeah,
and like they make a lot of changes, and one of the changes is to the Gadget Mobile, which is voiced by D.L. Hewley. And D.L. Hewley is the only actor who wanted to reprise the role, and I think that's what they kind of wanted to have some continuity, vaguely.
Grandfathered in there, there's no, even if we wanted to make the car white again. And that's the thing, I remember
it sounds like you're advocating for this car should be white. This is an Anglo-Saxon car.
This is the thing, what the fuck is an Anglo-Saxon car?
It's a Protestant Anglo-Saxon car, a Lincoln Continental.
I was watching the behind-the-scenes featurette in advance of this, and apparently in the first film, the car used to be colored white, like the actual like paint job on the car was white. And so we have a beautiful drop of Penny just sort of saying like,
the car in the first one was white, and Alex goes, that's kind of white, let's change it.
You made it even less white from this film to the next film. A baffling choice, but Inspector Gadget is sat in the Gadget Mobile, and the Gadget Mobile is talking to him in African-American vernacular English that he can barely parse.
A few extra miles look good on a player, and you are a player, G. Just sure that it's all good under the hood, aight?
I have no idea what you just said.
That is a recurring gag through this for some reason. But Inspector Gadget is hungry for the arrest. Not satisfied with quietness going on in his society. He is looking for someone to arrest. He is on the hunt. ACAB, unfortunately, does include Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, because I was about to say, like, this could be read as a scathing criticism of modern-day policing, where it's not really about making society safer. Inspector Gadget has achieved a safe society. All the criminals are behind bars. But he is not content. He needs to police. So he goes after, like, you know...
some old grandma.
Like a grandma who drives almost over the speed limit. Girl Scouts selling cookies like 2 days out of date. Like, this is what police do. When they don't have real crime to solve, they will arrest people because that's what they want to do. They don't make society safer. They just make arrests. But alas, I don't think this movie is that sophisticated.
No, it is not. Sophistication is not really one of this movie's strong points. As we can hear from the line of dialogue from the Gadget-mobile.
Hang on to your pockets, because here come the rockets.
I believe Marcus Aurelius said something similar, I will say.
So what we get is we bundle this old lady into the back of the Gadget-mobile and drive her to the police station in a kind of fucked up Disney Channel driving Miss Daisy kind of situation. And... this is where I sort of start to get the impression that John Mulaney has molded so much of his personality and comedic persona around French Stewart in Inspector Gadget 2. And once you notice it, you can't unnotice it.
I'm all messed up.
All the way through, I'm like, why is Poundland John Mulaney on my screen saying Poundland John Mulaney things?
I keep hearing Pound John Mulaney in my head, and that's not exactly what
I can think of a few.
You're so right. He's so John Mulaney-esque. Horrible.
He's John Mulanian. He's got John Mulaney particles running all the way through him.
Radiating from this Disney movie.
Exactly. Everything from his cadence to the way he sort of makes facial expressions, it is achingly John Mulaney.
Is this like a thing? Where is John Mulaney from? Where's French Stewart from?
French Stewart is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I believe John Mulaney is from Chicago.
No excuse.
John Mulaney's whole shtick is like doing a kind of anachronistic, old-timey vibe, which, as we established on last week's episode, Nancy Drew, is a telltale sign for being transgender. So, John, if you have any questions, call us up. We can put you in contact with some people, you know? Eagle-eyed vexillologists will notice that the city flag is just a blue square. We are in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
I really feel like they did scouting for sets and locations to shoot this movie, and that's it. There's no production design going on, really, except for, like, one little thing that comes up later, but, like, no one put any effort into this. More than the like two characters directly in front of the camera at any given time. The kids watching this are not going to care about the flag.
And so we meet Penny, who is Inspector Gadget's niece, I believe. And Penny has the Nancy Drew vibe running through her. That she is detective pilled already. She is fully detective gender. A meddling kid. Once again, another character that I would die to protect. I recognize in hindsight that she had a huge, like, I was watching this DVD as an 8-year-old, like, for Penny.
I have the exact same thing written in my notes that I realized watching this movie that, like, damn, Penny from the Inspector Gadget cartoons, a lot more influential in my formative years than I remembered, turns out.
Exactly.
But yeah, she's the one who actually solves the crimes, typically, in the cartoon. Anyway. Sometimes it's the dog, whereas Inspector Gadget never solves much of anything. He's the bumbling detective archetype.
The thing that I love about Inspector Gadget is that there are basically two rules with him. He is always enthusiastic, and he is always completely incompetent.
He is incompetent in this one, not only out of sort of, a lack of authority or a lack of a solid approach to solving crimes, but he is also involuntarily suffering from a number of glitches. Yeah. The body horror baby's first RoboCop situation that was in the first film has since sort of devolved, and his gadgets are malfunctioning on him such that he cannot seem to get his body to do what he wants it to do.
Oh, God.
And I start writing big crayon notes of transgender themes on my legal pad.
Stupid glitches!
There go those glitches again.
One of the first examples of one of these glitches is him trying to, I don't remember what he's trying to do. He's saying go gadget binoculars or some weird stuff that he's doing like that.
Toothpaste or something like that.
Yeah, and accidentally sprays toothpaste all over his fellow actors in what is fairly dangerously close to thinly veiled fetish content, but is also... Yeah. You could say an example of involuntary ejaculation.
Oh my god. What do you think about this, Robo-Nova?
Inspector Gadget can't come unless it's, like, weird.
Mm-hmm. I think the layers of this movie, again, is so thin. The pool is so shallow that it looks deep.
Yeah,
you know what
he's,
I mean?
It's like a mirror, you know? Yeah, so he goes to the special gadget clinic to meet with the special gadget clinician to say, I am spurting the wrong viscosity of hot pink ropes. Can you please help me thin out my...
Doctor, help me. I'm shooting hot pink ropes.
I'm sorry that I have to make you listen to this. But
I feel like I've been a bad influence on you ever since the first episode when I mentioned grippy gorilla sex.
I mean, you've been a bad influence on me anyway, largely for introducing me to the concept of what a trans woman can look like.
What on earth does that mean?
It's a bit of Lucy lore. You were one of the first trans people that I ever saw. And I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a nice little bonding experience between the two of us right now. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So without that context, it could mean anything. Like, I was like, are you giving me shade right now?
There were so many things that sort of nearly cracked my egg. It took a long time. But no, you were one of the first trans people that I ever saw who was on HRT, and I was like, oh wait, hold on. HRT can do stuff. It can actually do holy shit. Oh. And I remember Googling what the hell does HRT do immediately after seeing one of your videos.
This is such a heartfelt, emotional story that came after talking about shooting hot pink ropes.
Yeah.
What a wonderful, amazing. What do you think about this, Robo-Nova?
I have done 9/11. Did not protect.
Yeah, well, you would say that.
Yeah.
So it turns out that the old lady that Inspector Gadget arrested is actually the chief of police's mum. And the chief of police is really not happy about this. Although the chief of police's mum is having a whale of a time in prison, flexing on all the other inmates, beating the shit out of them.
And then, when his guard is down, his kidneys are exposed, and that's when the marathon of pain begins. Yeah, when you're ready. And who's your grandma now?
Who's your grandma now?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Is there something about being labeled in a gendered way that makes you sort of pretty aggressive? I think the chief of police's grandma has some things to examine.
I am quite fond of the trope of old lady is more capable of violence than you would expect.
Yes.
There is something kind about that. She says something along the lines of and now the tornado of pain begins. And I was just like, how did I find this Shakespearean powerful line in Inspector Gadget 2? Right after shooting hot pink ropes, the tornado of pain begins. I love this movie so much, actually.
The thing about this movie is that there is so much gunge in this movie, and I don't understand why gunge was such a prominent thing in the noughties. In the UK, it seemed that in the mid-noughties, there wasn't a TV show on Earth that the producers didn't feel would be improved by gunges of various viscosities. I don't know what, just Big Goo was a sort of important lobbying group that was getting its little fingers into Hollywood and being like, you know what, this film needs some gunge, because there's so much of it.
The Big Goo lobby is more powerful than you might think.
As a politician, I presume you had to deal with them all the time.
I mean, that's how you make your money. I mean, really, there is a salary, but I mean, the real money comes from big gunge.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to gunge a few palms. This is
with hot axle grease.
Yeah, greases the cheeks of society.
They've established sort of the setup, the lore of the city. There is no crime. Everything is perfect. But then Claw, the classical villain, escapes by digging a tunnel underneath the prison somehow, with his claw emerging from the soil in a very also weird this. You don't have to escape that way, but digging your way out with the claw is, I guess, the way you do it.
Yeah, I think the claw canonically has wire cutters in it. I don't know why. There's so many ways that you could use that. This claw is permanently attached to his hand, and the thing that I couldn't help but notice in sort of the empathetic, vicarious body horror of having a claw for a hand is that the tines of the claw don't quite make contact with one another like a pair of bad tweezers. Like, you couldn't even pluck your eyebrows with these things. It's useless.
I'm like torn between why this is. I have a theory. I actually thought about this. So I think either the budget is so low that they skimped on the claw prop, like they kind of outsourced it, or like maybe even bought like a toy and just used it, like painted it a little bit and just used that as the claw, or they designed it that way deliberately so that it wouldn't make like a clink noise, so that they wouldn't have to edit anything out like that way and save money on the editing. So like in one way or another, this is a cost-saving measure, but it's very, very funny.
Like how all movies, whenever you see ice in a glass, the ice is like plastic so that it doesn't make clinky noises. Yeah. Listen, other fun facts, courtesy of Big Gay Soft Crimes.
We're an informative podcast, if nothing else.
We are. So we cut to Inspector Gadget in his bed, receiving a telephone call on his hand. The body horror just continues. I would not like to have a telephone built into my hand. I would very much like for the dialing pad to be nowhere near the palm of my hand. I don't want to accidentally butt dial a relative in the middle of a conversation with myself, shall we say. I don't need anyone speed dialed into that situation.
Hot pink ropes. Do you think...
What is my life? How have I gone from just like working in a local library to having Mia Mulder say the words "hot pink ropes" to me?
You said it
business
first.
That we share. No,
I'm the normal one in this episode recording. I'm kidding.
we're so normal.
Do you think he has like the buttons on his hand, or do you think like he meant?
You saw that. Like,
I missed that part. That's actually horrible.
Glowing in the palm of his hands. Yeah. Horrifying. And he learns that Claw has escaped from prison, and one thing that we find out about Inspector Gadget is that whenever he has a sharp like spike of emotion, something goes wrong on his body, and in this case his head shoots up directly into his niece's bedroom. Again, this is a nightmare. We cut to Claw having acquired some minions in a disused bowling equipment factory, a factory that seems to make both bowling balls and bowling pins, but also bowling shoes and bowling shirts.
That's how factories work.
I think that's how factories work, right? It's like you have one factory per hobby.
Little known fact, the Inspector Gadget universe actually takes place in an alternate timeline where the automotive industrial complex didn't really happen in the same way. So they're still based on a craftsmanship type of economy. So this is a guild. This is the bowling equipment guild, and they get paid extremely well. Capitalism doesn't exist.
Yeah, you can't get anything past the bowling guild. You know, it's a closed shop.
But what I really like about him sitting on this throne of bowling pins, which he's made for some reason, or made his minions made, which is he's just like me for real. But he puts on the news, which is not news. I'll get to that. I have a thing to say about the news, but the news is not news, but I'll get to that. That basically says, because the city is so safe, statistically the safest city in all of North America, they've put in all the gold in the city. A deposit of $5 trillion worth of gold.
$5 trillion worth of gold.
Yeah. And they have like the most top-notch security ever in the whole world.
Impregnable.
And he's watching this on the news. Claw is like, he rolled out a little TV, he started it, and from beginning to end, he has this thing. This is not a news. You agree? Like, the news doesn't work like this.
No.
Claw is watching a YouTube video essay of someone basically reading a Wikipedia page. He's watching one of the earliest video essayists.
Oh, God, yes.
Applying their craft. Yeah. They're reading the Wikipedia page of this new bank vault with all the $5 trillion worth of gold, and decides that we're going to rob this place based on this video essay.
Extra signs of just how cheap the production was for this, and how, you know, how they had to sort of build sets non-linearly and otherwise. There's sort of like a montage of all the different security methods that this vault has, including a sort of like biometric eye scanner for scanning the eyes of someone. And the footage that they use is footage from the finale heist. You can see one of the minions just holding the guy while putting his eye up to the machine.
God, that's true.
Frozen in time, because that's where this movie's gonna go. This movie's gonna have time freezing mechanics. But we get introduced to the minions, including one who's just called Brick.
Me.
Fantastic line.
God.
Of what J.K. Rowling might say to me if she wanted me to pick up cigarettes for her on the way home.
Brick! Retrieve my dogs!
Like, that's ridiculous. Come on.
The henchmen are classic minions, but they are united by having some of the most fucked up hair I think I have ever seen on another human being. Brick, in particular, is pretty much bald, except for like a tiny little Tintin future episode tuft on like his forehead. I would hate this. This is my dysphoria demon.
This is like evil Tintin, for sure. Oh yeah, this is
evil Tintin.
Evil Tintin or Brick is giving very much me trying to join the military in 2011. Like that is essentially like the vision. So once again, you can see HRT can save everyone. This is you can change. What's that other minion's name? McKibble. I love McKibble.
Which is where we get the line, which would be J.K. Rowling getting me to pass her some dog food.
Brick! McKibble!
We then move on to something that the Gadget Clinic have been teasing. They are unveiling something, and the thing that they are unveiling is the next level up in the Gadget program. G2. This is the girl Inspector Gadget, and I have to say that G2 bears a quite uncanny resemblance to friend of the podcast, Abigail Thorne. Genuinely uncanny, distractingly so.
Yeah, they make a big reveal. They open up the pod and out steps Abigail Thorne, the more successful and more powerful version of me. But it is really uncanny.
This is like Russian nesting dolls. What do you think of this, Robot-Nova?
Real sick chaser shit.
How could you say that? That's fucked up.
She's your friend. She's your friend.
Anyway, but she emerges from this like pod and is also dressed in some like weirdly tight, but like not like super creepy tight, but like too tight for our children's movie. I feel like leather, but not leather clothing. Like there's a very much like woman robots.
Yes. This outfit made me feel kind of funny. Aged 8, I couldn't identify what it was about it that made me feel funny. Being sort of like prepubescent at the time, not really having like any knowledge of sex or horniness or otherwise, but this is a desire for proximity that I couldn't quite understand.
There is something genuinely alluring about a strong, powerful, but emotionless, attractive woman who demeans you at every turn and does not want anything to do with you. Yeah, I get that.
Clad in an extraordinary amount of leather, I'm
relating incredibly much to Inspector Gadget in these scenes, who immediately becomes infatuated with her, because who wouldn't?
Oh, yeah.
My, she certainly is well equipped, isn't she?
She comes out of the pod and has first day of standing normally school, because G2, the lady Inspector Gadget, stands with her feet sort of at least 1.5 meters apart at any given time. She is not even T-posing. I don't even know what kind of pose this is. Like X-posing? Do they have X-posing in gaming terms? I have no idea.
She's pretty tall, though. Maybe that's why.
Possibly.
I am realizing, actually, that she's really tall compared to many characters. She's like taller than the chief of police. She's almost taller than Inspector Gadget himself. Like I love a tall woman. I know I'm biased as a person saying that myself, but like I mean, who doesn't? Did I befuddle you?
You did. I am bamboozled.
Introducing the term "who doesn't love a tall, attractive woman."
So, speaking of being befuddled, Inspector Gadget sees a tall, attractive woman and is somewhat bamboozled. And they do this kind of like demonstration of her abilities by getting him to hold up a wad of money and say, "This is stolen money," and she immediately immediately incapacitates him with some light bondage, a bit of rope play, because Inspector Gadget at heart is a rope bunny, and, you know,
God,
whomst among us.
Again, I relate so much to Inspector Gadget in this scene. When is my time?
There is a surprising amount of, like, bondage in this kid's film. Just, like,
there's so much
predicament shit of people getting tied up together.
This is a fetish movie. Like, this is, like, 75% a child's movie and, like, 25%, like, really a fucked up fetish movie of some degree. Because there's a lot of weird slime. There's a lot of bondage. There's a lot of, like, sensory play. Like, when Gadget and G2 touch, there's, like, electric sparks between them, and they kind of linger a little bit on that in a way that, like, I don't feel like they didn't need to do that. They really did not need to do a lot of the things they do in this way. I do need to point out, however, because we do live in an age of AI, and Baxter, the sort of like engineer of the Gadget universe, does point out as he unveils the new and improved Gadget G2 that the one thing that sets her apart is that she is all robot.
All robot, yeah.
Not like Inspector Gadget 1, who is like a cyborg type thing. She's all robot, which does mean, however, that she is not human and does not have emotions. As we have learned from ChatGPT, and like this is not real.
And Fallout 4 and
that's right.
Blade Runner future episode.
So Inspector Gadget here, by being romantically interested in her, is suffering from AI psychosis. The problem that is more and more relevant as the day goes on.
Oh, he's like Joaquin Phoenix and her. Oh no, this is where in the same way that Inspector Gadget 1 is a modern retelling of Dostoevsky's The Double, what Inspector Gadget 2 here is a classic retelling of the ancient Greek myth of Pygmalion. No.
There's a small part of me that wants to believe that someone involved in this movie has like managed to piece together a children's movie with like more depth than anything I've ever seen before, with a shoestring budget, and just really squeezed that budget for everything it was worth, for as much pink goo it could possibly get out of it.
Someone at Disney is a wet and messy fetish rope bunny, and they were going to make this movie appeal to them as quickly as possible.
I feel so horrible talking about, like, because like this is the thoughts I had when watching the movie itself, but it is also at the same time a children's movie that leans into the campiness of it, and it's very much like the cartoon, but at the same time that is what makes it so good. So G2 is on the case, and she's like, I work alone, because she's brooding and emotionless and extraordinarily attractive
and autistic, right? So like this is like someone who's has autism meeting someone with more autism or a different kind of autism from them, and usually this would cause insufferable, we cannot get along even slightly levels of disagreement. But in this case, it is a match made in heaven. Inspector Gadget is smitten.
No, I know why. I cracked it. This is, I know you're on the right track. This is the perfect coupling of ADHD boyfriend and autistic girlfriend.
Oh my God. Oh, it so
that's just the dynamic. That's just the couple. That's amazing. I love it. Because it works.
It's beautiful. It's like a glove.
Gadget is not allowed to work on the claw case, because now I have someone better to do it, and she works alone.
Yeah.
So while he is at home, completely fucking up some pudding.
More gunge.
There's
so much gunge.
Penny finds a clue in the newspaper that basically is like, I'm evil and I'm hiring evil people.
Yeah.
That's just what LinkedIn is now. So
this is the part where me and the person that I was watching this movie with sat forward squinting and looked at Inspector Gadget's house and said, that's a Queenslander. That is a beautiful Australian house. This is Brisbane. What is happening here? I think I've walked past this neighborhood. This is probably just Paddington or something. A beautiful house on stilts with wood paneling. It is a gorgeous sunshiny day with a kind of light that we just don't get here in the Northern Hemisphere. And yeah, no, this entire film, despite ostensibly being in America, is just Brisbane. The original police station, I believe, is like a particular campus of a university in Brisbane. It is Australia all the way through.
They just like walked around Brisbane to like shot. I swear to God, some of the places they shot at, they probably didn't even have a filming permit. They just like showed up and filmed a little bit.
Exactly.
Quick.
Exactly. I love Brisbane. Shout out to bin chickens. They are beautiful. I don't care what you all say.
Completely inscrutable.
I know. It's inscrutable to you. Oh, I just like chicken crimpy shapes. Hey, Robo-Nova, what do you think of chicken crimpy shapes?
Yummy.
God, they're so good. But Penny comes up to him with a newspaper and informs him that Claus escaped, and we get more goop, more gunge, more slime. We get some kind of bukkake scene, if you will.
We
will not. Inspector Gadget is on the case.
Actually,
every other scene involves some kind of slime.
Some bukkake, like, because the next scene is when he goes to, because like he follows up to this like job posting to go to a pirate bar where like villains hang out, which is like the most gay bar I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
before gay bars became boring, you know what I mean? Like, this is a gay bar from like 1997 that is good.
Yeah, it is populated entirely by the village people and village people impersonators.
Yeah. And this is where he walks in and is like, so he orders milk because he's tough.
Milk.
Chocolate milk. Even.
Yeah, and the very definitely not Australian bartender expresses an aghast milk in the most Australian accent you could possibly, like, he is fighting.
What'll you have?
Nice tall glass of milk.
Milk.
Once you notice it, every accent in this is like, oh, you're really, really trying to wrangle that under control.
It's perfect. He goes there in disguise, dressed as
someone.
My dad, like someone, like something, a hoodlum.
This is a classic trope that appears in a lot of detective fiction. My favorite example of this trope is in the Telltale Batman games future episode, where Bruce Wayne tries to disguise himself as like a rough and tumble like street thug wearing like an absolutely spotless, immaculate, brand new leather jacket and like a flat newsboy cap, and he looks so gay. Right? And this is just a common thing in detective fiction where you have someone needs to disguise themselves to go and mingle with, you know, the dock workers or whatever, like go down a few class performance rungs or something. And the way that they do that inevitably involves machoing up in a way that makes you look quite astonishingly gay.
Yeah.
And, you know, he takes a swig of chocolate milk and his fake mustache comes off on the glass. And he says,
I have a history of hair loss in my family.
Real,
we should get finasteride. I can't pronounce that word.
Exactly.
Spironolactone also helps.
Get that tea down and get on some minoxidil.
When he asks to meet Claw, and it's like, I'm here as a hoodlum. I want to get hired as a villain. The bartender says, Well, you gotta grease some palms, baby. Yeah. And that's when he unhooks his hand and unloads. I hate to use that word. Just like gently ejaculates like a nice little pile of axle grease and says, "Oh God, like there you go, top grade axle grease."
This, you know, there are so many things that his body can do that just give him such... He is constantly leaking and secreting, and it's like that you... Yeah, horrible. Horrible. I would hate this. This is body horror to me.
I mean, this is one of the moments where he wanted to ejaculate that axle grease, and he did it. Like, this is an intentional ejaculation, as opposed to his many unintentional ejaculations with pink ropes that come before and after in many things in this.
Pink ropes. This is how you know that for girls. But the rough and tumble macho village people in this bar then decide to take the phrase "the long arm of the law" very literally and give it our dear Inspector Gadget a good old stretching out. They decide to stretch in a really beautifully done little like classic stage magic ass practical effect that I find very charming. While all this is happening, Penny is disobeying her uncle Gadget's expressed desires and is getting involved in some Nancy Drew shit and going investigating to see if she can find out where Claw is hiding and what Claw is up to. Again, I do not understand why they put a comic relief black car in it's very, very, very odd. Animated comic relief black character as a trope. It was really, really prevalent around this time.
Yeah.
For some reason, just the mandatory comic relief character.
Should be home watching the Powerpuff Girls, not out here acting like one. I have half a mind to honk my horn right now and tell him you're here.
Gadget-mobile, how would you feel if I had your clutch pulled through your exhaust pipe?
Diversity is having 8 white characters and 1 black car. And that's what a diverse cast is. Like this, I feel it's a weird trope. But while this is happening, G2 also comes into the scene,
arrives,
doing the actual investigating.
After a monkey calls 911, I think.
You're like, what is this bar? Like, why is it pirate themed? There's no need for it to be pirate themed. Why is a monkey there?
Why is there a monkey there? She arrives, and it's very much a kind of "mom, I throwed up" kind of stance that she takes when she stands at the door.
God, my dog every morning.
G2 is someone who, like, she has about 3 catchphrases. She very seldom says anything new. She's just like very robotic and has like a list of, a drop-down list of crime-fighting phrases that she can say, very much in a kind of Cole Phelps sort of way.
For an example of such a phrase, N2, Nova, would you like to give an example?
I have to die now, goodbye forever.
Classic.
Yeah.
I'm always saying this. Yeah.
Very wise.
Yeah. This is a good bit. This is fruitful.
I'm having fun with it.
G2 beats up everyone in the bar, and Inspector Gadget is like, I had it handled. Why are you mogging me by coming in here and showing me a version of me that I could be, that is simultaneously more elegant and more dexterous, more adept and more strong, more agile and more feminine? Why does this make me feel so sad and make me feel so bumbling and incompetent by comparison?
This is a movie that I do think straddles that balance, and that is difficult to do, of I want to be with you and also be you at the same time.
Yes.
That's difficult for a lot of movies to pull off unless they're like explicitly transmedia, and even then it's like difficult to do because it can come off as very creepy. But Inspector Gadget 2 nails it.
This is, it's difficult to say, like, because when starting this podcast, I knew that, like, you and Nova were going to be involved, and the two of you already have, like, pretty strongly established audiences. But there are also people that I have seen who have started listening to this podcast who seem to be, like, new to us. And so I'm sort of filled with this kind of awareness that for some people out there, we might be the only, like, experience with, like, trans pop cultural sort of analysis that they have stumbled across yet somehow. And so there are times where it's like, was what I'm saying about this a given, or is this something where I'm going to, like, be articulating something new that explains something to someone who may otherwise need to hear it? But as someone who spent a long time not being able to definitively be for certain tell whether or not the feelings that I had about women and femininity were a desire to be them or be with them, the only thing that I could possibly say to sort of, like, resolve that conflict, or dissolve that conflict rather, is just cis people don't really think about that kind of shit at all. If it's a question that you're already feeling, there's probably something there, and you will have a much happier life by just kind of chilling out and relaxing about it, and you kind of just have to, like, give it a try it out, and if you like it, it's probably for you, because cis people don't feel good about this shit. It makes them feel uncomfortable.
I heard a very similar advice, like, cis people don't think about whether or not they should transition day in and day out. Like, that's not a thing that a lot of cis people do.
Yeah.
God, this reminds me, like, this is completely irrelevant, but, like, I remember something about someone using estrogen like as a lotion to like reduce wrinkles, but then also getting like other types of effects from it. And because they weren't trans, they were starting to get gender dysphoria from that. So like they accidentally gave themselves gender dysphoria by like part way transitioning because they wanted to avoid wrinkles.
I think that's Dr. Will Powers.
Yes.
It's very difficult to like tell whether what he has to say is like genius or made up nonsense. And so I will be careful leading people in that person's direction. But they were pretty useful to me.
When an academic utters themselves about trans issues, the gods flip a coin. And the line is razor thin.
Genius or quack.
Sometimes both.
Yeah, if you're ever saying like sometimes madness is actually genius, you know, you're mad, you're insane. But yes,
damn, I do say that sometimes, occasionally, to motivate myself, to tell myself that my manic episodes are actually productive and not a sign of deep unhealth.
Yeah, I'm the first tripolar person, baby. I'm inventing like the Z-axis here.
So Inspector Gadget 2.
Yes.
How is this a discussion we're having about Inspector Gadget 2? I love this podcast.
I'm having a wonderful time. This is a free episode. We're working with a skeleton crew here with our beloved Gadget Nova.
Wonderful.
G2 says, though I am not programmed to feel emotions, I find you strangely likable. And just so much neurodivergence happening here. Yeah. This is competing neurodivergences.
And I think that's where the ADHD autism coupling, I think, validates itself. Because like, it ain't that how it feels.
They go into the warehouse to take down the minions at last, who have been stealing 3 things. They need to steal
like ion batteries,
ion batteries, like bullshit. MacGuffins.
3 MacGuffins, 2 of which they kind of do something with, and the first one, they kind of just like whatever, like ion batteries. Whatever, they're gonna go to a warehouse and steal some boxes. Like that's what you get. The other ones get like a fun heist element to it. This one is just like it's a warehouse, and the plot really goes like after the pirate bar. The chief of police just shows up and it's just like, the next part of the story happens at a warehouse. Yeah. Don't go there, Gadget. And Gadget obviously goes there and ruins everything, as he always does.
Go, Gadget, violating a restraining order.
You don't get within 100 yards of that stakeout. And he's like, I will be 101. Riddle me this.
Yes. The stakeout is successful and the minions arrive because they're stealing the massive ion batteries or something. And we get like a real display of G2's powers here, which involves her being able to separate her upper body from her lower body. Her legs can run around independently while the upper half of her torso is like swinging around like Tarzan in the rafters.
With estrogen, all things are possible.
Interchangeable appendages, if only, I am here yearning. She was the actress that played G2 did all of her own stunts instantly for this, which is it's just good fun. This is, as I say, shoestring budget, but made by people who wanted to believe in this movie. They got it done.
Like I honestly think this movie is like really underrated. Like I think for what it is, it's actually really good.
I had a fun time.
Like I actually enjoyed watching it.
It's
which
silly.
is like I did not expect.
Yeah, it's obviously made for kids, right? But like I simply believe that children are the future and important, and the media that we show them is, if anything, more worthy of scrutiny than a lot of media for adults, because it's a very impressionable age.
Which is why it's a very good movie, despite all of the gunge.
Yes,
because like I don't think we need to talk that much about what happens at the warehouse itself, other than showing off the G2 is very good and Gadget is very incompetent.
Wowzer, she sure is limber.
She has girl gadgets.
She does have girl gadgets, including a lipstick in her finger, which I wish I had. It's actually I hate to be so like stereotypical about this, but I kind of wish I had that one.
When I was a kid, I used to design my own James Bond gadgets because I was a kid at a time when James Bond was like at the height of its popularity or whatever. And so I remember designing a bunch of gadgets, and I distinctly had this sort of light bulb moment of like, why are so many of these gadgets menswear shit? Why is it all like Amiga watches and ties and his belt and his shoes and all of these kinds of things? Where are the girl gadgets? And so I proudly and cisgenderedly designed a whole bunch of girl gadgets. I had like a mascara skeleton key kind of thing. I had like Mia has just sent me a photo of a bit of product placement from this movie that just says Dunkin' Nuts.
You can return to that. You can finish your story. I didn't mean to interrupt it. I just wanted to send it before I missed it.
I designed, so skeleton key mascara, a GPS makeup compact pad. I had like lipstick that was a gun. I had perfume that was like a camera or something like that. And I remember taking this into school, being so proud of it and showing it to the other boys and never living it down.
Yeah. This is normal cis boy activities.
The naughties sucked. God, when we're saying that this film is like, got a lot of trans themes going on, but this is subtext, and I would have killed for even a crumb of text, something to actually latch onto and know that, like, who I was not, in fact, aberrant and weird and mockable. And, yeah, that would have just made my life a lot easier.
Yeah.
And so the fight in the warehouse ends with some predicament bondage. G2 and Inspector Gadget are tied up together.
They get away with the ion batteries.
Mm-hmm. And we cut back to the chief of police office as he is reprimanding Gadget for even being there and ruining the stakeout.
Which, I mean, fair. Mm-hmm. He did do that. And that is also the scene where the chief... holding in his hand a donut from the aforementioned Dunkin' Nuts and squeezes it in anger and spraying himself again with a bukkake of gunge as he fires. Not fires, but like he heavily demotes Gadget.
Demotes, yeah.
He's not allowed to work on the clock case at all.
Every other scene in this movie involves someone getting a face full of gunge. It's very, very, very strange. So he gets demoted to toilet maintenance man and ends up incompetently doing such a incompetent job of it that he ends up giving himself a swirly, which is astonishing levels of self-bullying. It's horrible to be in a dumb sob relationship with your own body, one day it will obey me, I'm sure.
Well, at least it's not involuntary ejaculation this time, We've actually had a couple of minutes now away from involuntary ejaculation. By the way, we're half an hour into the movie, dear audience. We've had like 4 cases of involuntary ejaculation. There's like an hour of movie left, and there's more involuntary ejaculation. Like, we are not, like, I know we're talking about it a lot, but like there's so much of it going on. So I'm just happy to see something that like mocks Gadget that doesn't involve him ejaculating a goo. This is just him being swirled in a toilet, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy for some variety. It's called heterogeneity.
So we cut to the bowling factory, where a character says in an Australian accent, an unlimited amount of bowling shirts,
an unlimited supply of bowling shirts,
and they reveal the next part of their plan, which is that they are going to go steal a protoid laser. Don't call them protoids, bro. From the science. It's like the science expo, like a convention or something like that, but it's actually Queensland St. Lucia campus.
And also like the product placement galore in this place. Like there's so much, I'm noticing like there's a lot of product placement. McDonald's shows up in this scene.
Several scenes.
Biscoff Biscuit shows up in this scene. Like there's so many.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. In Inspector Gadget's beautiful Queenslander house, you sort of see various different foodstuffs on the back, and it's clearly stuff that they've picked up from like the American section of the local Woolies, right? They've just gone down. But this is a science convention that has scientific inventions that vary so wildly in breakthrough sort of importance, right? So on the one hand, you have someone selling a radio pillow, okay? And that's like, oh, a radio pillow.
Some shit you would see like on Amazon or Temu today.
In Mankind or something, you know? And at the same time, across from the radio pillow, you have a perfect cloning machine that creates a perfect clone, not like a genetically identical but needing to be raised up from birth
just duplicates
clone.
You, yeah.
Just bam, clone immediately.
It's like clonomatic.
So much about the world and like, you know, how the world operates and like labor shortages and the ability for us to all come together and do stuff is like you have perfect one-to-one cloning. This is one of the most important machines ever invented, and it's a fucking science thing alongside radio pillows.
This is why this movie's so good, because like you can tell like they don't care, like they're just like, this is a cool thing. They have such joy in their hearts. They have a song in their hearts and souls. Like they really just like, let's have a clonomatic. Fuck it, that'll be cool. Let's have some twins for a little bit. It's fun.
Yeah, the mood enhancer. They also have the puppy girl collar that translates everything you say into barking noises, or rather the other way around. Is supposed to translate dog speak into human speak. But I think I know a few girls who would love this.
Oh, for sure. That's like half our audience at this point.
Exactly. Like, well, what if I put this on you and all you could say was woof?
What if we did that?
What do you think about this, Robot November?
I've never had glitches like that before.
In the movie, like it translates the barks into moos.
Yeah.
For the sophisticated members of our audience who are the cowgirls.
There's so many options here.
What is this? What is this episode? Lucy, I feel like this episode is... I didn't realize Nova was the moderating factor here. Like, why are we like the Chernobyl disaster where like the particles... this is dangerous.
It's okay. I have all of the editing ability in the world. I can take out whatever you like. I can adjust whatever.
Oh no, this is...
I'm loving this.
We're having a great time. I'm reacting for comic effects.
Okay, good.
I hope.
Yeah.
God, I hope you're happy. Anyway.
I am. I promise. I'm having a whale of a time.
Delightful.
Dream job.
What happens next, though, at this Science Expo is something that has happened to me as just part of content creation, where you go to a public event and the dorkiest people in the world show up with like your face on their shirts. Because like the two goons, two henchmen, the villains who are working for Claw, they show up here in like poor disguises and claiming to be Gadget's #1 fan.
Yeah.
And they just want to have a picture, which one can do. If you recognize me in public, please come up and say hello.
Yeah.
But don't be a creep about it, for God's sake. That has happened like twice in my life, and I don't like it. But like, you know, all of you are normal, but you will know if you're not normal. Anyway, these people are not normal because they're also there to trick Gadget into taking a selfie, I think.
I should cancel the merchandise that has like your face on it specifically, that we've been making for the podcast.
Yeah. Big Tech's #1 fan.
Yeah, they want like a pre-selfie with him. They just want like a picture.
God, this is 2003. All right, that people did take pictures before
people
selfies. I'm so Instagram brained.
Yeah. And while getting their picture taken, they put a little device on Inspector Gadget that's going to allow them to remote control his body and make his body behave and do things that are outside of his control and bring him a lot of psychological distress. Themes.
I was about to say, like, once again, this is like you sent a picture in the podcast group chat, which was the episode featuring the writer's barely disguised fetish.
Yeah.
And like this is like the 5th one we've gotten to, where it's like someone else controlling his body.
I'll post this on Blue Sky, but we've got like there's one bit where he turns into a dog.
We're so alike.
This is all as a distraction so that the minions can steal the protoid laser that was invented by Dr. Sprokenvich. Don't ask him why he has a German accent or why he looks like that or whether he lived in Argentina before moving to the US.
Yeah, when does this movie take place? It's like 1960 something.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. It's sort of like, again, a lot of weird anachronisms where it's like it's simultaneously the modern day, but also all of the reporters and journalists are using like really old-timey flip down like large format field cameras and things like that.
Everyone's kind of dressed in a weirdly like 60s like fashion sense. Yeah, it's weird.
Really weird. And so we get a lot more gunge. There's so much fucking gunge in this movie.
They make his gadgets malfunction, so he shoots blue gunge instead of pink gunge this time on the mayor.
He shoots hot blue ropes on the mayor, biting satire on the mayor here. I don't know what this is supposed to like. Yeah, really showing that mayor.
Yeah, someone had an axe to grind against like a municipal councillor somewhere. Because it's a character, and I have no idea who it is. I feel like they would have a lot easier time to just grab the protoid laser by just not calling the cops there in the first place. But I guess he does work as a good distraction by shooting blue gunge on people around him.
And struggling to eat a McDonald's Happy Meal. Available at McDonald's is everywhere. Go to McDonald's, get a Happy Meal. Get an Inspector Gadget toy. There were so many Inspector Gadget toys.
Oh God, there were.
For this film.
How was this franchise so successful? Because I'm thinking about it. Because it also got a reboot in like 2008 or something like that.
It did. Although this film completely killed the movies. Like they were potentially going to do a third one, and then this one absolutely just killed it stone dead.
This could have been the Marvel-verse.
Yeah, exactly.
But this leads to him getting fired.
Yes.
He has ruined it for
just
good.
Before that, Penny is like, we've got to catch the bad guys, and the one black character in the movie, the car, is asleep on the job for reasons, and it is up to Brain, their beloved dog, to steal Brick's bowling shoe. And look, bowling shoes are kind of cunt. I think they're cute. Like,
powerful statement.
Again, John Waters possessing me every now and again. Inspector Gadget gets fired. Has to turn in his badge and his gun. We get like a little emotional moment here of Penny being like, come on, we were so close. Get back on the horse.
We can do it. You can solve a crime.
There's a beautiful line which is like,
what are you still doing in bed? And why is your trench coat and hat in the trash can?
I'm no longer a policeman, Penny.
Me, aged 11, finally trying to become normal and not succeeding.
Damn, 11, you became normal early.
No, I never became normal. I have yet to become normal, I think. And so Inspector Gadget needs to get a whole bunch of different jobs. It gets a job as this kind of like fucking Buster Keaton builder who like uses a hammer and to knock over a house.
They do the Buster Keaton, like the building falling over. They do a reference to that with like the most bare bones thing you can ever find with the budget that they have. But they still wanted to do like a cinematic reference. Like the people behind this movie put in effort. Like they're doing homages to cinematic history in this movie.
They're real cute. He becomes a hairdresser and sets someone's hair on fire. It's his glitches are still very much giving him trouble. And at the same time, Penny has decided that she is, she's going to give it the old college try. She's going to be on the case. And so she takes this bowling shoe into school, cuts it open while everyone else is dissecting a frog, and realizes that the shoe has a patent number in it.
She's doing forensics on this shoe.
Yeah, and she traces the patent number to the factory that manufactured the shoe. And here's where I call into question Penny's detective credentials and expertise, because shoes are made in factories. People do not live in the factory that they bought the shoe from. If a police dog tore off one of my shoes, one of my Converses, one of my whatever fuck ass shoe I'm wearing these days. If you looked at Converses and Googled Converse factory and then went to the Converse factory, you wouldn't find me there. Chances are. I think that would probably lead to a dead end.
So you're saying, you're admitting here live on the internet that you haven't updated your shoe registration.
Have you got a license for those shoes? The US Patent Company website has sound effects. She sort of opens it up in the bowling factory and there's like a little bowling sound effect.
I actually believe this. It's 2003. Websites are kind of new still. People are getting silly with it.
Novelty,
like I think the Swedish tax office also had like sound effects for a while. Like people had fun with it.
What's a tax sound effect? It's just like,
like the
money piling up.
The sound of coins clinking away from a bank account. Gadget has given up on being a detective. And while Penny's doing good forensic work, Claw is hatching the next step of his plan, because now they have 2 of the 3 MacGuffins that they need for some vague weapon that they haven't talked about that much lately, and they have the ion batteries, the protoid laser, and now they need a big ruby.
They need a fucking big ruby, though.
Big ruby. This is like the classic cartoon villain thing.
Yeah.
Like just a big ass ruby. At least 50,000 carats. And they're gonna steal this ruby at like a fundraising event, because as anyone who is involved in establishment politics would know, fundraising events always need to have a big, expensive gemstone in the middle of it to show off that this is a place of wealth. For some reason.
And the mayor is wearing this gorgeous, like, feather trim cape thing.
Which, cunt, I love that. I actually want that outfit so bad.
Yeah, again, I need to concoct an excuse to get invited to some kind of fancy event somehow, because, like, this is black ball gowns and elbow-length gloves, and this is very activating for the Lucy. But Inspector Gadget dressed like a fucking dipshit outside because he is a valet.
Is that your analysis? Is just like a dipshit? I mean, he is, but he's like a dipshit.
That's the whole thing. He looks like he should be in a marching band or something. It's an incredible hat.
Maybe this is offensive to the Britishness of it all, but I kind of thought he looked much like the Queen's Guards outside Buckingham Palace.
Yeah,
very much.
Yeah,
like,
Queen's Guards. You look like shit. Take the hat off. Who do you think you are?
You all look like dipshits.
I hate them. Sorry.
I feel like this might be a crime in the UK. I don't know. I don't care. I live in France.
Inspector Gadget goes up to the car and lets the mayor in, followed by the chief of police, which is astonishing sort of like melding together of the police and politics. That is a worrying sign, and certainly something that we are seeing a lot more of in the UK right now.
Again, this is a scathing critique of the police establishment state.
And G2 getting out of the car behind, and just seeing Inspector Gadget like wistfully like looking at her, and it's again, I will project whatever shit I like over this. That's gender dysphoria, baby.
I do think that this is the scene where G2 looks the most like friend of the podcast Abigail Thorne.
Yeah, like uncanny, distracting
to an uncanny amount, to a distracting amount.
Yeah, I mean, and we mean that as a compliment. I mean, she looks great.
And like, I know it's not Abby, because Abby's 10 years old when this movie comes out. It can't be Abby.
I believe by Abby's testimony, Abby is -1 when this movie came out. But
this is the benefit of having the exact same birthday and age as Abby. So I will always know how old she is, as long as I know how old I am.
Were you born on exactly the same day?
Yeah.
Same year?
The same birthday.
Same year. That's astonishing.
We're the exact same age.
Oh man,
weird coincidence, right? I know. Right?
So, this is where we get another staple of children's media. We get laughing gas. There's a hell of a lot of laughing gas in kids shows around this time. I don't know why, but Claw reveals himself, and he's queening out, right? Like he has a massive fucking like wide-brimmed Liberace Truman Capote fucking sun hat and cape.
Yeah, because they commit to the authenticity of the cartoons, which the first movie with more budget for some reason didn't do, but this one again fucking nails it. Yeah. Where Claude never shows his full face. Yes. Although if you are watching the movie on the 1080p HD version on a big ass monitor, you can see his full face. But this is not a movie that was meant to be seen in any type of HP above 480p. Yeah. This was meant to be seen on like a tiny little thing in the back of a car.
Portable DVD player in the back of a car when your feet don't even touch the floor. You know, delightful. G2 is like, you forget, I am impervious to laughing gas on account of being a robot. So he brings out a giant cartoon magnet. We're doing some proper like cartoon hijinks here. It's beautiful.
And they take the ruby. They leave
you gotta
the
think
event.
that it's a horrible situation for anyone at that party who happens to have like a Prince Albert, right? Like, someone's braces get torn out. Any piercing that you have this is horror. This is a
Prince
horror.
Prince Albert. What is a Prince Albert? I don't know this one.
Oh my god!
You're laughing though, so I do believe it's perhaps something dirty, something nasty. Lucy, are you telling a dirty joke on the podcast? What is a Prince Albert?
What has happened in my life that I have
explained to me?
Ended up explaining what a Prince Albert is to Mia Mulder live on air.
I'm thinking that this might be a trap.
So a Prince Albert is a piercing on a particular part of your body.
Which? I can guess, but like I would like you to say it out loud. Yes, for the podcast.
I've gone bright red.
Say the line, Lucy.
It's on a
this is like a hostage situation. I feel like I'm keeping you captive in this podcast episode. Sometimes
the podcast is barely disguised fetish.
No, but what is it? Like I'm not fully sure, but I'm guessing
it's a part of a statistically a gentleman, but often a lady's anatomy. The bit just under. Just, where it, like, the really thin bit, I believe that's where it is.
Wowzers. Never knew I had one of these.
The kind of thing where you wouldn't want to have one of those in if there was a giant cartoon magnet in the room.
Yeah. I learned so much on this podcast. This is so interesting. Love of learning, I think, is a very important trait to have when you're a detective, and I learned so much from this.
I'm so precocious, man. I'm going to have to actually look up the film here because my notes have kind of disintegrated.
Everyone's laughing. G2 is immobilized. They take the ruby, and then they just walk out. Just leave.
Yes.
They did it.
And Inspector Gadget lets them walk
He's
out.
very much like, he's very much like, I just work here. Like, I don't, like, I'm not, please go in the car.
Please tip me. I need tips. Yeah. They go back to the factory where they find Penny, who has been snooping around and doing Nancy Drew investigation stuff. She's putting things together.
But she gets caught in a sort of a very like cartoony way by hiding behind like a stack of bowling balls, which are released in a weird way. Like how, I don't know how bowling factories work, but I guess like this, and they bounce away in a way where it's obvious these are not bowling balls. These are bouncy little inflatable balls. Because I don't think
with a sound effect of them hitting bowling pins, despite there being no bowling pins there, because that's the noise the bowling balls make.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they have one big machine that, depending on the setting, makes either bowling shoes, bowling shirts, bowling balls, or bowling pins.
Yeah,
at the bowling factory. It does everything. But this does lead to G2 getting fired. Yeah, because she beefed it. She didn't do it. Gadget didn't intervene this time, and she did not prevent Claw from doing the crime. So she gets fired and is told to report back to be deactivated.
I wouldn't turn up. I would run away.
Because she also cries in this. Like, she develops emotion. A single tear. Yeah. I failed in my duty.
Why was I programmed to feel pain kind of moment? Inspector Gadget says, go Gadget hanky that I have on hand at all times for all of the gunge. You gotta have something to clean up.
The gunge hanky.
And Inspector Gadget gets an idea of how he's going to save her, which essentially involves switching her back on again. It doesn't require a great deal of like thought. It's just like going in and undoing the thing that's been done to her.
Insert the CD, turn on.
Mm-hmm.
That's how women work, and it's not that complicated.
A woman can be fascinated by a small CD.
Insert it in the small of her back. Yeah,
this happens all the time, and this is the second time that Inspector Gadget references being entranced by her commanding voice and physical prowess.
Yeah. I've always had great admiration for your investigative abilities and your physical prowess, your commanding voice.
There is something here of not just like you are sort of cool, and it's not just I'm jealous of your gadgets, it's I'm jealous of your presentation. I am like, there is something that I am seeing in you that is the thing that I'm trying to be, but done properly.
There's a wonderful thing that comes up like a bit later, resolves itself very nicely. I think like that chord has a nice chord resolution within the narrative, but that comes a bit later, because I really like that they have that little tension there.
Yeah.
But where it goes is not to a resolution yet. It goes to like, we are going to team up and like become cops again, become detectives to stop Claw, which they show by him getting his trench coat and fedora, and she oils herself up. Which, I mean, like, again, the fetish content is so close. We have not had a gunge in a while, thank God.
There is a deleted scene from when they were tied up together in a predicament bondage situation where Inspector Gadget asks, "What's that perfume you're wearing?" And she turns to him and says, WD-40, which is quite cute.
That's
quite
cute.
There are quite a few lines that I wish that they'd kept from the deleted
Where
scenes.
did you watch deleted scenes of this movie?
Oh, on YouTube. They're just all uploaded there. Yeah.
Director's commentary, I would love. Can we invite the director of this movie? Like, can we start a new podcast just about this movie? Like, I'm obsessed kind of with this movie.
Start afresh. Start over. Episode 1 again. But the thing with the scene where he's like expressing what is framed in a U or G-rated film as being like romantic, the language of it, he's, you know, in his fuck-ass little militaristic sort of band leader style uniform, is kind of like a perfect chiral like mirror to the particular kind of hat that G2 is wearing. There is like something here where it's like, no, we are cut from the same cloth. I wish that I was more like you, and not just in a gadget way, but in presentation specifically. And it's like they've become more and more and more similar. And as you say, this is going to like have a climax. This is going to come to a head later on. Brain arrives, their dog, barking up a storm. Little Timmy's fallen down the well kind of shit. This is when Chekhov's puppy girl collar that translates for you makes its payoff appearance.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Penny has been kidnapped by Claw. He's holding Penny captive out at the old Bullwright bowling factory on the outskirts of town.
Actually, I think that's a plot hole. I think he says that they're at the bowling alley, but then
they go somewhere else. That is a good point. They just kind of memory hold that a little bit. It doesn't really matter. The dog being there, it's just there to talk, but it doesn't actually contribute.
And then he sort of like hits mute on the dog translator and forces that dog back into the loneliness of not being able to communicate with his beloved owner. If I was a dog, don't make me go back. Don't no, I want to talk to you. I can suddenly comprehend you. Don't make me go back into silence. I'm so lonely.
Yeah, there's a lot of existential horror like that's hidden behind the surface level universe of this movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
An additional part of that is the fact that all of these three MacGuffins have been combined together by Dr. Claw because he is making a time displacement laser, the ability to freeze time, which I guess
like it's such a like you didn't need to like there's like whenever they are faced with the choice of do we make something silly or not, they always choose the silly option, which is a bit ridiculous, but also I think why the movie holds up.
Yeah, so we have time freezing, another trope that constantly appeared in kids fiction. It is the superpower of choice for perverts everywhere. Real ones know that the superpower that you choose is shape-shifting because you are a child with gender dysphoria. And so the rest of this movie is a lot of like CGI hijinks of running around in the car, driving and evading sort of like the time displacement laser. Again, the car coming out with some very bizarre lines.
Oh yeah? Well, bring on the noise and bring on the funk, because I'm bringing out what's in my trunk.
Very strange.
This is the part of the movie where it's very easy to kind of zone out a little bit because there's just a lot of things happening.
There's so much bullshit going on.
But like no plot is occurring, you know what I mean? Like it's just like they shoot the beam and try to steal the gold. They don't get caught in the beam. That's like 10-15 minutes of the movie right there.
It's a lot of it. It's a real lot of it. And they turn up at the bank and Claw gets away, kidnapping Penny in the process. And here is where we get
this is the gender.
The thesis. Yeah. So what happens is that Inspector Gadget is sort of still glitching, still malfunctioning.
Stupid glitches! I hate being last year's model.
And G2 turns to him and says,
"Here, let me give you something from this year's model. Take one of my chips."
G2, but then you might get the glitches.
I'll manage.
And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So the thing that's gonna like get you back on the horse and back in your prime
to fix you
and like fix you is to fold in femininity into yourself. Just fascinating. This
They again, like they really thread the needle of wanting to be you but also be with you because of the heist thing going on. Like Gadget is professional, like he does like her a lot, but he's putting that aside for now. But he is becoming more like her before the romance becomes like actionable and present in the moment, which it isn't. It becomes like later once that's resolved, and that's how I think they avoid like the creepiness of that a little bit. It's just a really nice heartfelt moment of like, I'm going to embrace femininity. I'm going to literally become more like the female version of myself in order to become the better version of myself that works better, that works more like the way I'm supposed to work. Because he doesn't become new. He doesn't get new abilities. He just works the way he's supposed to work. He becomes more himself.
His body starts behaving. Yeah, it's wrangling some control back over his personhood. This is really, really, really beautiful. G2, on the other hand, having sort of taken on some masculinity, this has the opposite effect on G2, who cis woman apparently, because adding more of the original Inspector Gadget into her just makes her like glitch out a bit more, but she makes do because she gets by.
I guess when you have lemons, make lemonade.
There's something beautiful though about like learning to become more than the sum of your parts by embracing,
getting a little non-binary with it, a little
by embracing your true self and like giving up a part of yourself as well. Like there is something beautiful in many directions here, even though Inspector Gadget is, I think, the only one who is, I think, almost explicitly transgender. There are many, many good things and themes and things going on, but Inspector Gadget is just transgender.
Unambiguously, this is someone who is trying to make the hat work as the plot of the film. Inspector Gadget tries to make his hat work the movie,
and the way he makes a hat work,
transgender.
That's what you get.
Transgender.
That's how you make the hat work.
Transgender for everybody, baby. We then have hijinks. This is very easily summarizable as being some bullshit. Penny gets strapped to a whole bunch of bombs that look like bowling pins for some reason, because everything's themed around bowling pins. The laser looks like a bowling pin. The bombs look like bowling. It's very, very, very strange.
It's called having a brand and having an aesthetic.
Exactly. God. And so Inspector Gadget chases after them, saves Penny's life by not disarming the bomb, but by snipping through the chains that bind to the bomb. And so we get another classic shot of a kid's film child detective jumping away from a bomb that might be the episode art for this as well. Back to back teenage detective girls jumping away from bombs. Just,
it looks eerily like the episode thumbnail from the last episode.
But and that's like the sort of emotional climax, I guess. G2 arrives, and there's a brief moment where G2 and the Gadget Mobile are like, oh no,
they died.
It's the closest I've ever come to being a family car. Why?
And again, the lines that are being given to the only character of color, I believe, in the entire movie is very, very strange. I don't understand why what the hell was going on in 2003 writing rooms, but cut it the fuck out.
There's a cute part of the scene where G2, as Inspector Gadget, falls from the sky alive, and they're like, he's alive. G2 gives Inspector Gadget like the most autistic hug I've ever seen in my life, that like we all have received and sometimes given when the time strikes. Very much just like, you're okay, stop,
I am going to hug you.
Stop.
Yes, done. I am robots. Hear me hug. Yeah, and it's sweet. He does crash onto the bonnet of the car in a beautifully done mannequin shot where they just like drop him face first onto the bonnet. It got a chuckle out of me. They then drive to the bridge to catch the escaping villains using Chekhov's bubble gun. More gunge. Gunge saves the day. Chekhov's gunge. The viscosity of it has been dialed up again. It's still pink because it's for girls, but like the viscosity is enough to stop a fast-moving truck. Apparently,
it is slimy and slick at the same time, which accurate, I guess, but also the movie ends because like this is how they stop the car. So the resolution of how to catch the villains, not Claw because he does escape, but like the rest of the villains and recover the gold is by one final act of deliberate ejaculation, and seeing the two goons waddle around in the pink goo, like once again in a concerning scene.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they get captured. Dr. Claw escapes in a rocket, sort of very much like Austin Powers, Dr. Evil level kind of shit.
Point of order.
Hello.
Is he a doctor? I think he's just Claw. I also have wanted to say Dr. Claw many times because that seems like the thing you would say, but I don't actually think he's a doctor.
In the cartoon, he's called Dr. Claw, which is why I'm making this.
He is Dr. Claw, you're right.
What's he a doctor in? That's my question. Bowling. He's a doctor of bowling. I would take it. I would take a PhD in bowling if I could.
I think brand management, if anything.
Doctor of serving.
First thing he does is like establish a brand and an aesthetic.
They defuse the time displacement laser by guessing his password is crime always pays, the kind of shit that a villain would believe, I guess. It's
my God,
so
I have the
strange.
same password on my luggage.
Sorry, Claw, but you have to get up pretty early in the morning to put Inspector Gadget into a state of motionless frozenosity that's very difficult to move around in type situation, really.
Thank you, Inspector Gadget.
And so the day is saved, even though Dr. Claw is still very much at large. And we cut back to police headquarters where the mayor and the chief of police give out medals of commendation to Gadget and G2 and end on the totally not ideological and not propagandistic note of looking directly down the camera and saying, fund the police. They need more funding, people. We need this. If only we had more money.
The funding.
We are going to double the Gadget unit's budget for next year.
If the police had more technology, that's what I think is will make things better. I think if it's just like we just need to fold in more military technology into the police, maybe. You know, if there was some way that the police were able to purchase like military surplus technologies, maybe that's something that would. But that would never.
But also, more people should join the police, including young children, which is why Penny also is given a medal and encouraged, I believe. Implicitly to join the police force as a junior detective.
Yeah, she gets given a junior inspector medal, and that's you can't be calling a medal that, you know, it's the kind of t-shirt that's going to get you arrested. She gets an award for being a pleasure to have in class. They leave the police headquarters. The only black character in the film is getting a parking ticket. Just really, really, really strange nexus of comedy here. But we end with G2 going up to Inspector Gadget and synthesizing the emotions that the filmmakers could not have the utility to understand as being gender euphoria. So instead, we get a nice little romance where they kiss and Inspector Gadget ejaculates.
Oh no, you're
fireworks
right.
all out the top of his head. The final ejaculation. And all I will say is that you're gonna want to start fireproofing your fucking Queenslander, mate, because that's gonna go off in your very, very wooden house. And you're gonna start a bushfire. We're gonna be reading about how like the entirety of the Gold Coast has burnt to cinders, and it's gonna be because Inspector Gadget nutted in a house made entirely of wood.
I have a horrifying realization now, also because you're entirely right. To complete the synthesis of the transgender Inspector Gadget, which is now I believe I'm realizing this now at the end of this film. This cinematic experience, that there has to have been at least a couple of trans women as part of the writing team or like the gag squad or whatever they have in this.
I'd put money on it.
Because like, yes, he does ejaculate many fireworks, and the movie ends with one of those fireworks not covering the mayor and the chief of police in gunge like in previous scenes, but in dry ash. Perhaps symbolizing a lack of viscosity now. That
Jesus
Inspector
Christ.
Gadget has, finally internalized.
Look, you can balance that, right? You know, reintroduce some prog, you'll be all right. You know, it's you don't have to be coughing dust.
You said you wanted to live in a world without zinc, Jimmy.
Mia, what the...
I hate this. I feel nasty and dirty and just like I feel gross. I don't. This was not the intention coming into this.
Mia, is there?
I had at most in my notes like a little bit like, oh yeah, there's a lot of slime. That's a little weird and a little fetishistic. And now after 2 hours of this, I feel like how? No,
we're in the slime zone. We've been gunged. We've got gunge on the brain. We're in the gunge cave. We've been gunging for too long.
I don't want to gunge anymore.
I don't want to gunge anymore. I want to go see a clinic that helps me stop gunging. And that leads us at 1 hour 57 to ask the question. Because there are 3 detectives in this, I guess, so we're going to have to do it 3 times in a row.
Oh, God.
Did Inspector Gadget serve?
Yeah, kind of. Like, not in his typical outfit, but when he does look like a dipshit as a valet, yeah. When he looks like a Queen's Royal Guard, I think like some of his outfits are kind of cunt. He has a nice pajamas.
There's a certain charm. There's a certain, it's sort of like giving Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band reenactment. It's care has been taken, I suppose.
I appreciate the fact that no matter what job he has in the job montage is unique. Like he really dresses up for every job he has. Like he doesn't recycle shirts.
Yeah, this is someone who just seeing his like wardrobe that's full of all of like it's got 7 trench coats, 7 white shirts, 7 pairs of trousers, 7 belts, 7 hats, and he just imagining that he bins each one as soon as he's done with it. Why is your trench coat and fedora in the bin? It's like because it's the end of the day. I'm done with it. What are you doing?
And then when he gets fired from that job, he gets 7 pairs of hairdresser outfits.
Exactly. Yeah. He does wear a beret. He wears a beret in this at one stage, doesn't he? When he's the hairdresser, he's trying to make the beret work. Does G2 serve?
Yes.
She only wears one outfit, but it's an iconic outfit.
And she pulls it off every time. It's a little oiled up. It's a little leathery, but not really. It's a little silky, but not really. I love it. It's really nice. It's giving authority, but in a nice way.
I remember being fascinated by it as a kid and sort of being like, why am I interested in this?
I appreciate the fact that it is distinctly feminine, but also distinctly not sexual. And I do appreciate that in a children's movie. Like, it's nice to see something that is like distinctly feminine and distinctly not sexual, but also sort of like, young and like, obviously a romantic interest for Inspector Gadget. It's just like, it's a wonderful conflagration of like various aspects of clothes design. And I think they really pulled it off.
I remember.
Also, she looks incredibly like Abigail
Thorne. So much like Abigail
Thorne.
And
it's scary.
I remember as a kid, and this is again, thoughts that cisgender children don't really have. Being like, I don't care for the hat. I don't know. I am a trans woman who didn't have a military phase. I was like forced into the cadets for a bit, but like not out of my own desire, and sort of never gravitated towards like military surplus casual wear or anything like that. So the hat in particular is something that I can't relate to. Is it something that you can relate to, Robo-Nova?
The hat in this, wonderful.
The tracks.
Yeah. Does Penny serve? She had more of an influence on me than I remember, and there's a scene where she's like coming down the stairs wearing what is like a pretty basic, just like a shirt over a t-shirt over some like light khaki trousers and things like that. And I was watching it sort of being like, I'm wearing that right now, while I was watching it. I'm not wearing it now. I am wearing a custom t-shirt that says, yeah, this is cool, I guess, but I'd rather be playing Murdered Soul Suspect with my wife right now. Future episode.
Incredibly powerful shirt.
I wear it at work sometimes just to baffle people. Yeah, no, this is she looks remarkably Australian. Again, I don't know what that means. It's just a sentence that I'm saying. I think it's like the kind of like dress sense for very, very hot weather. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I can get
What's
behind
that show also Australian called like H2O where girls turn into mermaids
with the mermaids?
Water? There's a similar aesthetic sense, which I'm not sure is serving, but it is uniquely Australian.
So
and
Australian.
I do know that vibe.
Yeah, I could stand to get more Australian. Maybe I'll become legally Australian one day. We'll see.
But is it serving? I think she looks fine. She looks like a normal child in 2003.
Is it a serve? Is that the question? Yeah, and there are some fits that she has that I wouldn't wear. She has this kind of like turquoisey body warmer with the kind of like fur trim thing. I don't know. I've never liked a gilet. This and other normal sentences. I think it's because my dad used to wear a lot of them. I've never like wanted to wear one ever in my life. Did the three of them individually or together protect?
I have a pitch. And I think that Dr. Claw,
please, I worked hard for my PhD,
is maybe one of the more ethical villains we've had so far. Because I don't think that he or his henchmen or his goons ever actually hurt anyone except for Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, very, very childhood level of peril here.
Because they steal from a warehouse first. They snatch something from a science fair, which is they haven't beat anyone up for that.
Yeah,
the Ruby is the closest, but then they kind of immobilize as many people as they can and then go away. And then they literally freeze everyone in time so that they can just walk in, take the gold, which is in the U.S. gold reserve. Why are they having that anyway? Let's take that shit out. I'm actually in favor of kind of taking that gold. So
exactly. What Inspector Gadget here?
He's protecting capital more. He's not protecting people.
I mean, we don't have the gold standard anymore, but what's the impact here? There's trillions of dollars of bullion in there. Just let him shave a bit off the top of that. He's invented the ability to stop time. That will have applications that will be worth the amount of money that he's taking. This is the cloning machine at the science fair all over again. It's this is a pretty major thing here. If I was the United States government, I would be willing to pay Dr. Claw for his technological advancement. Sir, you don't need to steal the money for this. Let us fund you,
Operation Paperclaw. But
beautiful,
again,
beautiful.
I do think this movie comes in at the end now with a weirdly resonant and powerful message about policing and what it means to be a police, which is that Dr. Claw not harming anyone really. His goal is to get gold, a non-sentient, non-sapient object,
an inanimate object,
and doing it in the way that he harms the fewest amount of people possible, because he could just have a gun and go and take it like that, but he doesn't. He freezes people so he doesn't have to harm anyone, and even to the point where they don't even notice. That's the most ethical burglary you can come up
the most danger someone gets put in is that their orthodontics work gets compromised, right? He undoes someone's dentistry and gives someone with a Prince Albert the tug of their life, but that's about it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good time on a Friday anyway. I'm assuming. I'm not super familiar with the Prince Albert. And second of all, both G2 and Inspector Gadget himself endanger multiple people as part of their quest to protect the gold, to protect the capital wealth of the United States Treasury. So in order to protect some vague sense of financial markets, which, as you said, we're not even on the gold standard anymore. This is not super relevant in that sense anymore. He is willing to endanger the lives of multiple people.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a commentary on the cops are not there to protect you. They do protect. Maybe he did protect, but he did not protect people. He protected that gold.
Exactly. And so we can say that he protected, but that's a bad thing, and there's also he gets his knickers in a twist about the grandma driving 0.3 miles per hour over the speed limit and then races through town in his rocket-propelled pimpmobile, limply shouting, "Get out the way," to civilians that he knows full well are frozen in time and have no means of getting out of the way, So for someone who claims to uphold the traffic laws, he's certainly endangering a lot of pedestrians' lives with reckless driving.
Much like real-life policing and police car chases, as are also oftentimes done willfully without cause and put people in needless danger. What a good episode this has been.
I had a whale of a time.
What a interesting commentary on policing and gender and guns.
Well, here's the thing, is the fact that I am so convinced that Inspector Gadget is such a strong, emblematic sort of example of the thesis of this podcast being demonstrated.
For sure. strongest case I've seen so far.
It's been such a shame that our beloved Robo-Nova has not been has been malfunctioning for this episode. So I think that it would be maybe not immediately, but and I'm saying this now sort of firmly for the record, we will be doing the darker, hornier prequel to this movie. There's a movie so good they made a prequel of it 4 years prior, starring Matthew Broderick, Rupert Everett, and it is apparently, I am told, darker, weirder, and hornier.
Yeah.
Just because we've done one Sherlock Holmes doesn't mean we're never going to do Sherlock Holmes again. We're going to return. That what we do here on this podcast is that we pick a detective and we may return to them with a different actor playing them, doing a different adaptation. And the thing about this is that they had a different actor in the first one. So I think we will do Inspector Gadget 1 before long.
God, I'm horrified. Because, like, how can it be horny? Because, like, I know they did, like, a dark, gritty reboot that was not RoboCop when they tried to make a movie out of this. So, like, how, like, I don't know how you could balance it. This movie, I think, reviewed the second one, like, I think reviewed better than the first one. So I'm scared.
It divided a fan base, I think, because, like, some fans wanted it to be more cartoony and were upset at the first one for being as horny and dark as it was.
Right.
And so it's been such a shame that our poor Nova, who, if you couldn't guess, listeners, I'm afraid is poorly today and so couldn't be with us.
But there's one member of our team who hasn't been acknowledged yet.
What do you mean? Nova's right here.
Boss, isn't this a bit kind of dragging things out?
We will be doing this again, and you will hear human Nova's thoughts on this movie as well.
You're so threatening when you said that. But we will do this again. You have no choice in this matter.
But I think this has been real fruitful.
I mean, like, I've had a blast and I've had fun, but this has been scary, like us.
Yeah, we need the mollifying presence of November Kelly to get us in line and make us behave.
That's something terrifying about us as podcasters, I feel like.
We have been Be-Gay Solve Crimes. Subscribe to the Patreon.
Patreon.com/Be-Gay Solve Crimes.
That's right, Nova.
And with that, I think we'll say cheerio.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Be Gay Solve Crimes. I hope you enjoyed it because it was a bastard to edit. Inventing Robot Nova from scratch. We'll get Human Nova back in future, I think. It is 10 past midnight and I have work in the morning. What a day, what a day, what a day, what a day, what a day. November sends her love to you all. I'm afraid she lost her voice after coming back from the No Gods No Mayors live show in London, poor thing. But she will be back with us next time when we will be doing, at long last, you have asked for it, Nick Valentine from Fallout 4. So get over to the Patreon and subscribe if you want to hear that, because that will be coming out a week from today, Wednesday. If you have already subscribed to the Patreon, I want to thank you so much. You mean the absolute world to me. You can be as parasocial as you like. I am wildly grateful. And all that's left is for me to thank our £10 and above patrons, especially, who are, at time of recording, Transfem Oscar Wilde, Saturdays Claire, Jordan Gammy, Sparky, Robert Greensmith, Chloe Salzenberg, Transfer Productions, Dalton Fitzgerald, April, Knife Girl, open brackets, professional, close brackets, Fenris Mayday, Sonia's 4-year anniversary, congratulations, Moss, They Call Me the Egg Breaker Doll, Kyle Clark, Gil the Gilded Dragon, Audrey Whit-Pittman, Balakatina Gabascon, Yarinko, Codex O'Healy Melcher, Helen, Puppy Toys, Starlight Foxalope, Mayataculus, Monsieur Squirrel, The Reverend lost her old name in the forest at the Tea for Tea rave, please send suggestions, Sirob Kassin, Rachiology, Princess Reese promises not to bark at loud noises, Persimmon, Shally Wolfie, Keith D. Jones, Lilith Dyke, Wad Scallop, Charlotte, Red Ashrier, Armored Contempt, Maxi Mayu, Rur, Columbo's Dog, ACXG, and Faye. Thank you very much.
I am Sherlock Holmes in a little girl's body, practically.